going to be doing my speech over the benefit of school uniforms. So, as we all know, children and teenagers these days are growing up and doing things a lot quicker than what some of us in here were doing when we were children or wearing. A lot of things that I believe uniforms will help are the education, because they won't be distracted as much. Crime will drop, violence, fights, and just all around going to class is enough stress for kids. They don't want someone in class to judge them by what they're wearing. My first few slides, I'm going to talk about the people that are against uniforms. They say that schools should teach children what they need to know for the real world, not what they need to wear. Amanda Holleran, who wrote an article, The School Uniform Implementation, said if children are focusing more on their clothes and what items they are, or their or other students do or do not have, the school needs to reevaluate the strength of the curriculum. And they also say that jobs typically don't have uniforms. Yes and no. Jobs, I mean, if you're a football player, you're wearing a uniform. Any type of athlete, you're going to be wearing a uniform. So there are different situations for each. Teachers do not, Shalon, who was a concerned mother, she said, teachers do not expect every single essay to be identical word for word from their students. Why would we expect the same type of conformity from their dress codes? That I can agree with. I mean, uniforms are expected to have a control over the students, but they're not necessarily there to make every child look and feel the same way. They're there to, as a whole, have control, I guess, to a certain extent of knowing what the kids can and can't bring to school. They have various rules of tucking their shirts in, various colors. There's dress codes or there's uniforms. There's two different types. Enforcing rules about uniforms is difficult. Yes and no. Uniforms, they're usually specific. Girls wear skirts, boys wear pants. There's various colors, whether it's plaid, blues, reds, yellows, whites, greens. Most of the time, you know, they wear the high stockings in the summertime, or not summer, but fall and early spring or late spring. And then Dr. Alan Hiffler, who is a psychologist for children, young adults, and the elderly, he says, clothes are an expression for children, and as children get older, they become increasingly resentful of uniforms. I know quite a few kids at the daycare I work at, they hate the uniforms personally. But as a parent, the parents say that they like them because the kids don't have to worry about what they're wearing in the morning. They can spend time sleeping instead of having to wake up and figure out, oh, what am I going to wear? Also, uniforms, I'll talk about it in a little bit, they, in the long run, depending on where you shop, they can be cheaper than having to buy school clothes. Tonette Campbell, she's the mother of two boys from Burbank, California. She said, uniforms? She said, I love them. It gives kids a level of playing field and gets them away from one-upmanship on designer labels. It also gets kids used to taking care of their clothes. Getting rid of the status symbol prevents children from being teased because they aren't wearing $150 jeans. If you think about it, if you shopped at Hollister, I was never one who was big into Hollister, Abercrombie & Fitch, anything name brand. If you shop there, a typical pair of jeans at Hollister, $70. That's outrageous for a kid or a mother to be spending on that. Another thing they say is a child may be, or in a uniform, may be the target of bullies from other schools. If you're typically a bully, you're going to find many reasons to bully someone. It's not based necessarily just on what you're wearing. Uniforms may lessen the child's comfort level while attending school. Children may be uncomfortable wearing a skirt because I was one who was a tomboy growing up. You wouldn't catch me dead in a skirt or a dress, personally. And then they say that uniforms cost too much. They say that uniforms take away the child's individuality. Children can still do their hair, they can do makeup, they can, wear bracelets. They can still make themselves stand out compared to just having the specific uniform on. The cost of uniforms is prohibitive, especially when a family includes more than one school-age child. A financial burden to lower-income families and an unfair additional cost to taxpayers sending their child to a public school. On average, the uniform is $249 per school year. Like I said, with the Hollister clothes, I mean, that's 4 pairs of jeans from Hollister. That's it. You don't have a shirt, you don't have shoes, you don't have anything else. Just depending on what your child gets to shop for will depend on the cost equivalent. School uniforms make up about $1 billion in back-to-school sales. 23% of schools across the United States require them to wear a uniform. Kids have a decrease in peer pressure when they have to wear the uniforms. They can be reused and recycled. And school intruders are more easily identified in a school in uniforms of children. So hypothetically speaking, instead of the guy carrying a BB gun today, and assuming we had to wear uniforms, he would have been visible and a lot easier to track down than if he were just roaming the halls. Especially, like